Hello, everyone. It looks like a lot of you are signed on, so it's about time to start now. So just a quick reminder that there will be a quiz at the end, so make sure you stick around until then. To join the quiz, you will need to be on a laptop, and you also need to be log on to the quiz on a separate tab outside of YouTube. So a quick introduction before we start. My name's Alicia, and I'll be running today's session along with my teammate Indy. I'm a student from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Journalism at RMIT. My partner Indy is also from Melbourne and studying a Bachelor of Arts at Melbourne University. So our tutorial today will be about reverse image search and some key tips and tricks that will hopefully be helpful to you while you're participating in the verification challenge. So reverse image searching is one of the simplest but also most effective verification tools out there. So when you know how to utilize it correctly, there's so much you can learn from a quick 2-second search. Today we're going to walk through detailed strategies you can use to reverse image search, different search engines and their strengths and weaknesses, as well as how to reverse image search from your mobile phone.
In today's digital age, everyone has the agency to upload images to social media whenever and wherever they want. While this has resulted in an abundance of information available online, it has also resulted in an abundance of images that have been edited, doctored, and have been portrayed out of context. A key part of being digitally literate is the ability to distinguish between what's real and what isn't, and reverse image search tools help us do that. Take the case of this Canadian man's selfie, which was doctored to show him wearing a suicide bomber vest. This image was reused throughout various news outlets, claiming him as a suspect of the November 2015 Paris terror attacks.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Google image search. So 3 ways you can search on Google with images. You can paste the image URL into the search bar, you can upload an image, or you can drag and drop an image into the search bar. So some Google search image tips. When you search an image on Google, a keyword is automatically associated with your search. So varying the keyword will change what results come up, so it's good to play around with what words you can put in to see the different results you're going to get. You can also refine your search by going to the tools section. So there you can narrow your search results by image, by image resolution, upload date, color, things like that. There's lots of ways you can kind of play around with it. Another good thing is looking beyond the first page of search results, because often what comes up on the first page isn't what you're looking for. So if you keep on scrolling, lots of the times you'll be able to find what you're looking for if you just keep on searching. And then also increasing the image quality as you search. So often when you start searching, you have a low image resolution, but as you find images with higher resolutions, you can use those to widen your search range.
You can use Google image search on your mobile device too. Just long press on an image and select the option to search with lens. If you can't find the image you want, scroll to the bottom of the results and you get an option to retry with Google image search. If you are on the Chrome app, long press the image and you can also directly see the search Google for this image option and tap on it to reverse image search.
So other than Google image search, there's a variety of search engines which each have their own unique strengths and weaknesses when you're trying to find an image. So rather than having to Google, search in what website you're trying to find, put in the image, search for it each time, it can be very time consuming. You can download this Chrome extension called InVid, and basically it will list all the the image search engines that you want, and then you can click the all button and they'll all come up for you. So it's really good if you're trying to save time. Really quick, really easy, and great if you're trying to find stuff fast.
Now we're going to see how we can use InVid to check reverse image search across all the search platforms. Um, this will help you identify if an image has been recycled as new content, which is often the case with misinformation. It is easy and common for people to pass off old images or videos as new and write misleading or false captions, like we're going to explore in this video here. So we will use Invid to see if what this Twitter user is claiming is actually true or not. The caption on this tweet claims that this image is from an anti-vax protest that is being ignored by the mainstream media. But using Invid, we will reverse image search across all of our search engines, and we will see that this image was actually taken in Paris following France's victory at the World Cup in 2018. So we're just searching through here, looking at this is Yandex to check the geographical location of the actual photo taken.
So basically, all you have to do to use Invid is when you have a picture on your screen, you can right click it, you can go scroll down to the Invid extension option, and then from there, you'll see all these options that come up. So Google, Yandex, Bing, TinEye. You can click on any of those, you can choose to search all of them. And yeah, so really simple, very easy.
So in particular, let's look at Yandex. We've covered Google image search. So Yandex has a lot of functions that could be useful for verifying your images. One of these functions is the select crop area function, which you can see kind of in the middle of the image here, where you can crop and search specific areas of images. Yandex will also suggest what the image is about, which is helpful to locate further context on potentially taken out of context images. Yandex is also particularly good with architectural structures like buildings, bridges, monuments, and even logos or emblems, and of course for Russian-related content.
Another image search engine is TinEye. So TinEye has a strong sort function where you can sort the search results from oldest to newest, which is great for finding the source of an image. So TinEye's image search strengths are logos and alternate size versions of the same image. Um, so sorting by biggest image helps us to narrow down images that are likely original versions of it. Images that are being cropped, edited, or recycled repeatedly are more likely to be lower resolution compared to the originals.
Besides Google, Yandex, and TinEye, there are also Bing, which is just like Yandex that has their live cropping function. Besides those, there is also Baidu, which is good at China-related searches.
So, misinformation and disinformation using images can be divided into two main categories. So, we have altered images or out of context images. Placing photos out of context is a very common misinformation technique that involves recycling old photographs and videos and presenting them as evidence of recent events. Altered photos, however, are images that have been edited to change their meaning. So, why images effective at spreading misinformation? So people are used to using photos as evidence that events have taken place and often don't think critically about where they've come from. So often people put blind trust into the photos that they see online. Um, Research has also shown that people are more likely to believe both true and false statements when they're accompanied with a photo. So yeah, it kind of heightens the trust factor of a statement. And then also pictures can alter the way that we recall events.
Okay, I hope that gave you a brief idea on what you can do when it comes to checking videos and determining their veracity.
So I hope you're all ready to be tested on your fact checking skills. So now we're going to be kicking off the quiz. So to enter, you're going to go to quizzes.com/join and then key in the code on the slide. And then from there, you'll have 5 minutes to answer. So make sure that you'll be quick.
The scores will be tallied throughout all the tutorials, so make sure you engage with as many tutorials as you can for the shot at the top spot. You can view the cumulative leaderboard via the link on the slide.
So we'll just wait for some of you to get on. And then from there, we'll start. Okay, I think most of you are on. If there's any of you that haven't got it on yet, you have 15 seconds, so make sure that you're quick. Okay, looks like everyone's joined the quiz, so we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock. Good luck.
It is time to use all the skills you have learned with us today, so make sure to try out InVid in your search for the correct answer. Trial and error is also important. If you do not get the answer straight away, try to find other pieces of information within the photo itself or on a different reverse image search engine.
So the first time that we began practicing our verification skills last year, it would literally take us hours to get the right answer. So don't give up if you don't get it the first time. Another thing that we learnt the hard way is to be sure of your answer before hitting the button. Don't hit it too soon and then click the wrong one, because that is a lot more devastating than just getting it wrong. Yeah, so make sure you're very sure of the button that you're pressing before you click it.
I think that kind of leads into a bit of our backstory on how we even got here in the first place. Do you want to kick us off with how we got here?
Well, I found out about the Google News Initiative through my uni course, because I was doing a class last semester called fact checking verification, so very relevant. It was very interesting, and then yeah, from there we signed us both up, and yeah, it was really interesting. Got we learned a lot of stuff, and then we've come back this year, and now we're speaking.
Yeah, even though I mean I'm not studying journalism, but I still think it's super important anyways. So that's kind of why I've tagged along. But um, how is everyone going so far? We're about just over halfway, around about halfway through our countdown, but no pressure. Again, don't press the wrong button. Um, while we still have time, we'll go through over a few more tips to round out the back end of the quiz. Let's talk about what search engines can't do as well.
Um, yeah, so when you're searching for an image, when your search results come up, you do get a lot more information about what you're searching for, but it's up to you to interpret the results from your search. So some things that you might want to look out for are changing captions or image descriptions for a photo. So if it's lots of varying descriptions, it can often be point to the fact that it's the image being used out of context. Um, yeah, so the most common or viral caption is not always the most accurate one.
Yeah, and also how different versions of an image can have slight differences. That's like the really visual differences that I'm talking about. And this is definitely a way to figure out if an image has been visually altered or edited to tell a different story. Like if kind of referring back to that the Canadian man selfie, that's an altered image where someone has added a visual element to change the story. That's also another thing to look out for.
Uh, I think another important one, especially when you're looking for like a landscape or a building, is not to look for an exact match of what you're trying to find, because lots of the time there's photos taken from different angles, different backgrounds. So keep on looking and look for the small details to try and tell it's a different, the same location is also really helpful. Um, yeah.
So now coming down to the pointy end, you have about 15 seconds to go. Make sure to double and triple check your answers before submitting, but 10 seconds on the clock.
Okay, so time's up. How did everyone go? I hope you're all very confident with your fact checking abilities and have come away with a few extra skills up your sleeve today.
The suspense is absolutely killing me. I mean, just sitting here waiting for you guys to have your answers roll in. I'm very excited to see what you guys have come up with. And how many of you got the right answer?
Okay, so I think it's time for us to reveal what the right answer is.
So the answer was 2016. How many of you got that right? I'm seeing some promising results here, so good work to everyone. Let's run through together how we get to this answer using reverse image search. So by using InVid, by right-clicking, selecting InVid, and selecting reverse image search all, we can sift through all the search results from all the engines. We can browse through different search platforms. Like here, we have the Google reverse image search. Coming up with not much, just some visually similar images. So let's move on here. Now we'll go to Bing's search engine. Now, by using Bing, we can actually use a sort function where we can look from oldest first to see when the same image has been posted before. And we get a few hits here. So we've got some from 2001, 2013, 2014, 2016. We can open up all those links and check to see if there's any reliable information that tells us that we have an original source on our hands. Let's open up the first link now. Here's a Pinterest link. That is not our exact image, so we have to keep searching. We'll just scroll down and see if we can see our exact image anywhere, but just a lot of visually similar images, not the actual image ourselves. So on to the next link. Here's a few different images, obviously none that are our original image, except this one down at the bottom. We've got kind of the exact image, but we have no other information. We can see down at the bottom that the date of the website states 2006 to 2017. So definitely not 2022, but we still don't have an actual publication date for that post. All we have is anywhere between 2006 and 2017. But here again, we see the image called Reina di Cielo, which has a publication date on the page as November 2016. So we keep that website in mind and look for other search results elsewhere just to be safe. We also see on TinEye here that it also has a sort oldest option, so we can use that too. And we can see that the Reina website also appears in TinEye's results. So we can open it up there as well and try to match what we see before. You can also look at Yandex to try and open some of the results we've found there to see if there are any earlier versions found in our 2016 Reina link. There's our exact image there. Yeah, a couple of dead ends here, but we move on, we move on. So we can see with all of the links that we've kind of accumulated, we're still thinking about that Reina post, but trying to corroborate any of the sources here. But now that we see that the Reina post has popped up a few times, with the post being published in 2016 in both Bing and TinEye results. So there it is there, saying it's published in 2016. Whereas the other results that claim an early date did not lead us anywhere upon clicking on the links. Based on this, we can deduce that the earliest version of the photo we can find on the internet is from November 2016. Here's another one that's a bit later, so can't really tell there. And there we go. I hope you saw a few steps that you guys figured out as well in our explanation. If you didn't get to that conclusion, don't worry. You'll have plenty more chances to practice your skills at the other tutorials and quizzes.
Thank you everyone for joining us today and participating in our tutorial and quiz. We're so glad that you can make it. Make sure to check out the leaderboard later today for the scores and keep updated throughout the challenge. The link for the leaderboard is on the screen here.
And if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask, please email them to gniverificationchallenge@themasterplan.com.sg, aka the link that's on the screen right now.
So make sure you tune in tomorrow at the same time for the next quiz. We hope to see you there.